Hello, welcome back, and this is Jeff Byers, and we're going to continue with our texturing in Substance Painter with the chair. But before we do that, I realized that my chair is one UV UDUM tile, which means I'm going to go to UV Editor, and you can see I've got everything laid out in my UVs here in one tile, okay? But I realized that my table, decided with my table not to do a wood color on all of the pieces. I decided to do a different wood color on the legs. I want the chair to show that as well, where I want my legs to be a different wood color than other pieces. And so I'm going to have to set that up in UDUM tiles. I need to have two, just like I have the table. So that's easy to do. I'm going to show you how to redo that real quickly. Again, if I'm going too fast, go ahead and rewind a little bit and then pause it where I'm going too fast for you, and then so you can catch up. But in this instance, I'll take it a little slow so you guys can see what's going on. So we want to isolate the chair. So I'm going to go Control 1. Chair's isolated, and I'm going to show you kind of a tip or a trick, if you want to call it that I'm going to go ahead and instead of separating this and redoing all the UVs, I'm going to take what we have that we've done and just do it really quickly to separate. So I'm going to separate the UVs as UV shells. Okay, so I'm going to click on UV shell. And instead of going in here trying to find out where things are at, I'm just going to basically tell the UV layout which ones I want to select. So I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and just marquee select that little section there, marquee that little section there, and it clicks on those. You'll have to go in here to the top and just hold down the Shift key and click on the top one, and then top one over here like that. Okay, go below, and we want the whole bottom to be added, so we're going to hold the Shift key down and select all of the entire bottom like that. Okay, I also know that these pieces here, 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 and here are set up to the same pieces that we see that we don't see in here. Now if you leave those accidentally out, it won't matter anyway, because those pieces are not ever seen. It's the pieces, it's the face on top of this this cube here. Okay, you can't see them because the wood piece that you sit on is hiding it. So, but since I'm kind of wanting to make sure I get them all, I select those manually in the UV shell. Okay, and then all I have to do is hit the W key and move them over. Now we've already got the textile density all set up, so we're good to go. Okay, the only problem that I've noticed in doing this in the videos is that I forgot to rotate these to match these. Okay, so I'm going to select those UV shells and I'm going to rotate them. So marquee select them, and then under tools, or excuse me, under the transform, you'll notice that you can click on this to rotate them. I'm just going to move that up a little bit like that. There we go. I also noticed that these pieces here, okay, I'm going to hold the Shift key down and select those. You can see how fast I'm able to select things by doing a marquee selection. That's all I'm doing, is a marquee selection, see? Holding down the Shift key. But I do that really quickly. And this one right here is one we just fixed. Okay, these are all correct, but these need to be rotated the other way. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and rotate those like that. Okay, and just move them up out of the way and make sure that you don't have anything crossing over. Again, you cannot have UVs like that crossing over. Okay, so with those changes made, simple changes, maybe 5 minutes, now it's exactly the way we want it. So the wood grain will flow up and down. Okay, all right, and in a manner that is supposed to or should flow. Now, if we make a mistake, we can always revert back. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and go to snapshot. Now you're probably asking yourself, well, wait a minute, why didn't you scale this up? And well, because we've already set the textile density, okay? Meaning that we've already done the checkerboard and everything looks good, right? We've already done all that. So textile density is already done, okay? So all we have to do now is get it back into object mode, click off, okay? And you got to save it out. So snapshot, we've already got it set up to where it needs to go. If you see something different here, you need to make sure you set your project first before you do this. So I've already set my project, so it's going in the right area. It's a PNG 4096 by 4096, and it's 2 across and 1, just 1 up. So we're good. Apply and close. It's going to overwrite it, and we're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Now I need to save file, export selection, okay? Export as an OBJ, and we're just going to call this chair new. Export selection. It already exists. Yes, I want to replace it. And this may take some time depending on how fast your flash drive is. Okay, so I'm back in Substance Painter. I'm going to go to File, New. And now that I have a new UV map on my chair, I've got UDIM tile set up. I'm going to click on Select, Chair New. Okay. And I'm going to go down to 4096. And I've got everything else set up the way I want it. And let's click on OK. Discard. And there she is. There's our new chair with new UDIM tiles. And we've got an extra one here. So we've got 101 showing the wood. Okay. The lighter wood, and then we've got 1002. Oh, that's the lighter wood. This is the frame. Okay. So, all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start applying the materials we did before on the table. There's nothing different. I'm going to type in, I've typed in wood here, so WOOD, so we can find the textures pretty easily here. I'm going to bring this up. I do have this set up, the viewports. This is what you're probably seeing. I really don't need to see this, so I'm going to go in here, in here, and go to 3D only. And this gives me the full view. I can also bring this up just a little bit if I want to, so I can see all the wood. So I will use the warp on the legs, so I'm going to do that. There we go. And of course we know that's going the wrong way. Okay. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to turn the tiling to 3. There we go, like that. And I'm going to rotate to 90 degrees like that. There we go. Okay. That looks good. And then we are going to drag and drop our wood to that. And I think I need to rotate that. Rotation to 90. Here we go. There we go. And that looks correct. Yeah, the wood grain's going the right way. And then we need to set that up to 3 so we can see the wood grain a little bit better. There we go. So that matches the tiling scale. And that looks really great. I really like that. It looks really nice. I think it'll fit really well with the table. Okay. All right, everything looks about right. Okay, so what I would always recommend is you save your scene, your texture scene. It's not like an MB file. It's going to be I think it's SPP. Anyway, Substance Painter. So we're going to go to Save As. Okay, we're saving it to. You want to save it to your chairs. Your table chairs directory. You can see that I've got my table in here. I'm just going to click on just the words so I don't have to rename everything. I'm just going to go in here and do chair. Okay. All right, so Cherish P and click Save. Okay. So I am going to, it's saving right now. Here we go. Now we've got to go ahead and save our textures. So we're going to export our textures. So go to File, Export Textures. And again, we go through the same process as we did before. We want to tell it where we want it to go. You can't just think that it's going to save it to your directory. You have to tell it where you want your files to go. So I'm going to go to Table and Chairs, go into my Source Images folder, and that's where I want to save it. Okay? That's the biggest issue that you're going to have, is you're forgetting to set your directory. Okay? PBR Metal Roughness, we all know. Again, you can watch my previous video, but we're going to be going to Arnold Legacy Udem Tile, and we're going to use no padding pass-through. Output templates, we're going to go to same Arnold Udem Legacy, and we're going to get rid of the emissive. That's the only one. And then, of course, we'll go back. We got a list of exports here. It tells us exactly how many maps are going to be saved out. Go back to settings, and again, go ahead and export. It will export all your textures. Okay. Now, as I go through, this will be the last one. You're going to be able to do your decorative dish, but I'm going to go ahead and do that anyway. So it looks like it's 100%. Finally went through. Make sure it ends. Don't cancel it. And it saved it out successfully. Okay, I'm going to close that. Make sure you save this if you haven't already. Save as a chair. Okay. And those of you that want to continue watching this video or start doing stuff on your own, like you're going to do your own decorative dish, do your decorative spheres, so on and so forth, but I'm going to do all of them. Okay, so just hang in there, otherwise you can stop the video now and you can do all the other stuff on your own, whatever you'd like to do. Anyway, I'm going to go through all of them, but I'm going to go faster and faster and faster. So you guys should know you'll have to slow down my video if you need to, or you can pause it. Okay? All right, so chair is done. I've already saved it. Got to give it a chance to save. It's got to save to my flash drive, which is really slow. I'm used to saving to my SSD card, so it's a little bit slow. That's our chair. What's next? What do we do next? Well, let's go in here to File, New. And we're going to get our next object, which is going to be our dish. Okay. And I'm going to open that up. And 4096. And everything's set up the way we want it. I think we only got one UV tile, but that doesn't matter. We'll just go ahead and click on that. Discard. And there's our dish. There's our UV up here. And we are going to, now you notice I didn't bake maps on the chair because I still need to show you what we can do with smart materials. And if you cannot use smart materials, we're not really doing it in this assignment, but if you're going to use smart materials, you would have to bake the maps. Just remember that. I just didn't bake the maps for the chair, and I can go back and do that pretty easily. But right now we're just going to do something totally different. So I'm going to take out wood, just delete that, and that'll open up all our textures now. And I'm going to move this up so we can see all of them. We've got some really cool metals here. We got polished, and that's kind of what I want to use, something warm like this. So I'm going to go ahead and add it to this. Okay, and you can see, and if I move the light around a little bit, you can see that it's reflective, okay, which is kind of cool. Okay, and we can make it a little more reflective if we want to. Let's see if we can find some of the properties in here. So we got scratch intensity. Okay, let's get a little closer. It's going to be kind of hard to see. But I'm going to go back up again and go to tiling. I'm going to keep the tiling the same with everything we have. So I'm going to do it to 3. So you can get an idea. Because of the scale of the scene, you're going to have to do that to every object you bring in here. Okay. And then, excuse me. And then attributes, we've got metal roughness, you can play with a little bit. Okay, which makes it totally flat or really, really shiny. So I want to make it a little bit shinier so it reflects the environment more, which is going to be really cool. So metal roughness, keep that at 0. And then the rest of this you guys can mess around, but I like the way it is. You know, kind of like the way it looks. I think that's perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and save file, save as, and that will be the dish. Okay, there we go, dish underscore. So we're texturing pretty quickly now, aren't we? I'm going to have to wait for this to save. So I'm going to go ahead and export this material. So export textures, do the same exact thing. It doesn't remember what you just did, so you're going to have to go through the whole process again. That's the only irritating thing that I found. Let's see, table chairs and source images and select. And it doesn't remember any of this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and save settings next time because this is a hassle to do this all again. Okay, and this will be padding, and then we've got output textures. Okay, and that looks good. And then we're going to get rid of the emissive. It got rid of that. And so I'm going to save settings. There we go. That was weird. Why did it cancel it? Okay, let me do export textures. Oh, it did remember. Okay. Oh, cool. Let's see if I remember this. Oh, it didn't remember this. Okay, it did not. So it didn't really save it the way I wanted to, but the rest of this stuff it saved. This part. Okay, that's good. All right. And we're going to export it. So this will export all the textures of the dish that we did, the decorative dish. Okay, and that's good. Okay, I close that. And we'll go to the next object, the decorative sphere.